It's your girl, Mr. J, and I just want to talk about the 2020 NBA draft that went down last night. Let's talk about some of the winners and some of the losers and some of the surprises that went down with the NBA draft. I think the main thing starting off the draft was the Minnesota Timberwolves had the number one pick. There's been a lot of talk about them trading the pick. A lot of talks about whether LaMelo Ball could play alongside D'Lo, saying that D'Lo prefers to have the ball a lot. People questioned if they picked Anthony Edwards, whether his will to want to win would translate well with his physical gifts that he has as far as on the court. The Timberwolves filled offers all the way up until the last minute before they eventually ended up picking Anthony Edwards with the number one pick, which I said that's what they needed. You needed a guy that could come in, that could score, high energy, and can get to the basket. Now, as far as questioning his will and effort to want to win, that's he's gonna have to really show that. You know, he could tell you it every day, but unless he displays it in practice and in the games, it doesn't matter. So I agree with the Timberwolves taking Anthony Edwards with the number one pick. Then breaking news came yesterday about Klay Thompson injured his right leg. They didn't really know what the injury was, and then Wojo later in the night mentioned that I think he injured his Achilles. Now we know for sure he injured his Achilles, so he's gonna be out the whole season. It's unfortunate for the Warriors and Klay Thompson because he just came back from the knee injury, being out to get healthy, just to injure his Achilles. So that kind of sucks. We were wondering whether that would switch or sway the way that the Warriors are going to draft. Initially, there were talks about the Warriors trading their pick to the Chicago Bulls for Wendell Carter and their fourth pick. That didn't happen. The Warriors ended up taking James Wiseman, which I think was the best choice. You get a young guy that has the physical gifts. He can block shots, he can rebound. The only thing he probably is going to have to work on more is his offensive game in the post, because he likes to shoot a lot of faraway jump shots. So hopefully once he gets in the league, he can work on his post-up game. But the Warriors made the right pick with James Wiseman and not swaying away from picking him because they were in panic mode, because now you don't have Klay Thompson again this season. It just means that Steph Curry is going to have to play amazing every night, and Andrew Wiggins is going to have to step his game up and show people what he's made of. I like the fact that Michael Jordan mentioned that he would approve of the Charlotte Hornets taking LaMelo Ball. Then they ended up drafting LaMelo Ball. I think that's going to be a great pick for the Charlotte Hornets. They could do a 3-guard lineup with LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, and Devontae Graham. That gives them star power. But please know that Michael Jordan is not going to let LeVar Ball act a fool on the sideline at them games. It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. I think the first surprise of the night came the Chicago Bulls picking number 4 when they picked Patrick Williams from Florida State. Now, granted, with the be picked this high for Patrick Williams, he never started a game for Florida State. But from the tape and the different things I was hearing about him, he's definitely a really good player. But I think they drafted him based on potential. I think it's a lot of other guys the Bulls could have got with the 4th pick. But them picking Patrick Williams should be interesting. I want to really see will the Bulls let him play and play through his mistakes. I think that's going to be the real thing for him. Letting him play through his mistakes and not just putting him on the bench as soon as he makes a mistake or gets a foul. Then the next surprise came at the 5th pick for the Cleveland Cavaliers when they picked Isaac Okoro from Auburn. Granted, I had Isaac Okoro as a top 10 pick, but I wouldn't have took him this high. But granted, the Cavs needed a wing that could defend, and if he can work on his shooting, that definitely could work out for the Cavs. He's definitely the best defensive wing in the whole draft, so I'm not mad at that. Obi Toppin getting drafted by the New York Knicks. I like it, and also the fact that as soon as they drafted Obi Toppin, now today they released some veteran players: Taj Gibson, Wayne Ellington, and Elfrid Payton. They just released all of them prior to free agency. So that kind of lets me know Obi Toppin is going to really get to play there. The Spurs drafting Devin Vessel. Devin Vessel's also from Florida State. He can shoot the ball. He can score the ball. So I think he's a good young piece to go along with the young core that the Spurs already had. Pop is getting a lot of young pieces to go around Patty Mills and DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge while you still have them. Now, a lot of people killed me on Twitter for saying that Josh Green was a good pickup for the Mavs at number 18. And I still believe that that's the case. The Mavs need scoring. Josh Green can play the 2 or the 3. He can defend some, and he can give you scoring you're going to need off the bench with your second unit. So getting Josh Green at the 18th pick, I think, was great for the Mavs. And also they did a trade where the Mavs sent Steph Curry to the 76ers, and in return they got Josh Richardson. So that's not bad. The Miami Heat taking Precious Achiuwa. I like the pick. Precious Achiuwa showed he can score driving to the basket, and he rebounds very well. Very high energy guy. So I like that pick. He's just got to work on the offensive game because he's not going to be able to drive the ball all the time in the NBA. So once he works on his offensive game, he'll be good to go. The 76ers getting Tyrese Maxey. I like it a whole bunch. They needed a scoring guard, and Tyrese Maxey is definitely going to fit in well there. I think he'll get the chance to get out there and play and not have to worry about having to run a team. He can just naturally get out there, play, run up down the court, and get the ball to score. So I like it. I think Zeke Naji going in the first round was another surprise to me. I didn't have him in the first round for me. I had him probably in the second round. that was another surprise to me that the Nuggets picked him with the 22nd pick. And it's interesting they picked him because they don't know whether they're going to keep Jeremy Grant. So I think that was a good pick. And I think he's going to play well, especially if you do lose Jeremy Grant. Then the Nuggets also had the 24th pick, which was, I think, originally the Bucks pick, and they got R.J. Hampton. I like the pick. R.J. Hampton can slash and score, and he can shoot the ball some. So, him being added to the young core of Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, Will Barton, Monte Morris, I like it. The Knicks made another great pick at number 25, and they got Emmanuel Quickley. Now, that is definitely a surprise that he went so high, and definitely in the first round. I had Emmanuel Quickley in the second round, probably in the first 10 or so picks in the second round. But I think his shooting during his NBA combine got him into the first round. And that's a great pick for the Knicks. Also, the Knicks also just signed as a undrafted free agent Miles Powell out of Seton Hall because he didn't get drafted last night either. And I'm liking that pick. I think between Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickley, and Miles Powell, those are three solid picks for the Knicks. That all can contribute in different ways. I like the Utah Jazz taking Udoka Azubuike with the 27th pick for the Jazz. That gives them a more dominant big man off the bench. Granted, they had Tony Bradley, but they just traded him. Udoka Azubuike is a more physical, dominant presence in the paint. So I like that being the backup for Rudy Gobert. At 29, the Raptors got Malachi Flynn from San Diego State. His name started ringing bells last year. I think he was player of the year in his conference, I'm not for sure, but he proved that he could shoot. And I think that helped him get into being a first round pick. So in a lot of mock drafts leading up to the draft, he was a fringe first round pick, early second round pick. The 76ers getting Theo Maledon. He's from France. He's Tony Parker's protege. Nice size forward. That can shoot the ball. So I look forward to seeing what he can do for the 76ers. Trey Jones at 41 going to the Spurs. That's what the Spurs need. They needed a young guard that can come in and run their second unit alongside of Keldon Johnson and Lonnie Walker. So that's a good three-headed monster for the Spurs to bring off their bench. Nick Richards been drafted 42 by the Charlotte Hornets. I like it. The Hornets get another Wildcat on the roster. Just last season they took P.J. Washington, so I like it. Another big that ain't afraid to get in there and bang. At 45, the Bucks drafted Jordan Noir from Louisville. I think that's a great pick for them. Seeing that they've done some trades and a lot of guys are no longer on the team, that gives him a chance to come in, make the team, and provide some scoring off the bench, which they're going to need. I think a surpriser for me is Nico Mannion falling out the first round and falling into the second round, late in the second round at 48 to the Warriors. A lot of drafts had him as a first round pick between like